Okay, my friends, we are solving problems today, mostly word problems using capacity. So remember what we learned about liters and milliliters, and hopefully you guys had a little extra practice yesterday with that fun game that I sent out. And so you have a good understanding of what is a milliliter and what is a liter. Okay, so we are on page 639. We are on lesson 2 of chapter 11. Okay, so let's look at our first problem. Emily used 240 milliliters of lemon juice and 960 milliliters of water to make lemonade. How many milliliters of lemonade will she make? All right, so we're going to find the unknown. It says in this one we're going to add, which makes sense, right? If you start with this much lemon juice and you add it to this much water, the total is going to be the amount of lemonade you have. So let's add 240 and 960. Just to make it a little easier, I'm going to write it over here. 960 and 240. We're adding those together. Add our ones, add our tens, regroup that 100. Now we have 10 plus 2 more, which gives us 12. That's kind of a wonky 2, but it's a 12. Okay, so I'm going to write 1,200 milliliters. The unknown is 1,200 milliliters. Emily will make 1,200 milliliters. Okay, easy peasy, right? Let's look at example number 2. The total capacity of 8 pitchers, here they are, is 24 liters. What is the capacity of each pitcher if each has an equal amount of lemonade? Write an equation with a symbol for the unknown and then solve. They've written it for us, but if we were looking at the problem and we had 8 pitchers that totaled, all my total here is 24, right? 24 liters. They want to know how much is in each pitcher. So we're going to divide 24 by 8, which gives us 3. There are 3 liters in each of the pitchers, so the unknown is 3. If we were going to check for reasonableness, we could ask ourselves, what's 8 times 3? And it's 24, so it makes sense. Okay, so far, not too bad, right? Let's turn the page to page 640. Okay, let's look at example number 3. Dylan is helping his dad wash the car. His dad filled up 2 buckets with soapy water and 2 buckets with clean water. The capacity of each bucket is 9 liters. What is the total capacity of the 4 buckets? We need to find 4 times 9. Label the capacity of each bucket. Okay, so how many did we say each bucket had? His dad filled up 2 buckets with soapy water, 2 buckets with clean water. The capacity of each bucket was 9 liters. So on each bucket, I'm going to write 9, 9, 9, and 9. Can you see that? I think I'm going to use a different color. Let's try that again. 9, 9, 9, and 9. Okay, so each bucket had 9 liters. There's 4 buckets, so they did 4 times 9. Hopefully you remember what 4 times 9 is. 36. There are 36 liters of water in the bucket. Okay, let's do some guided practice. Let's look at number 1. We're doing a little algebra, which means we're going to write an equation with a symbol for the unknown, and then we're going to solve it. So on number 1, read it with me. It says, find the total capacity of the liquid shown in the containers below. All right, well, so let's look at this container. Looks like that container has 150 milliliters. So let's write 150 for this one. Now they wanted to know the total capacity. So total tells me that I'm going to add. So now I'm going to add what's in this bucket, and it's not quite, it's not quite 150, and it's a little over 100. It's halfway between, I would say it's halfway between. So what is a number between halfway between 100 and 150? Halfway would be about 125, right? Because 25 is half of 50. So now I can add 150. I'm going to write it over here. You can do the same if it's easier for you. I like to see my problems up and down. I can do them lengthwise, but I like it better when they're up and down. So now I'm going to add my 1s. I get 5. I'm going to add my 10s, 7, and then I'm going to add my 100s. So the total capacity was 275. All right, let's look at number 2. Read it with me. Peyton's tea kettle holds 2 liters or 2,000 milliliters of water. She uses 350 milliliters of water for a cup of tea. How much water is left in the kettle? All right, they're trying to confuse us a little bit because look, they say, well, the kettle holds 2 liters or 2,000 milliliters of water. That's the same thing. So what I'm going to do to make it easier is I'm just going to cross that out. I don't need to know that. Why are you trying to confuse me? Okay, so now both numbers are in milliliters. It's going to make it a lot easier for me to find, what's left, which when I see the word what is left, I know it's subtraction. Then I can, since they're both in milliliters, I can easily solve this problem by writing an equation. So we start with 2,000 milliliters, and then I'm going to subtract the milliliters of water that she used for tea, which is 350. Okay, I can write it over here. 2,000, that is very large. Let's try that again. I'm going to write 2,000 minus 350. I hope you can't hear my dog snoring in the background. She's totally sitting next to me snoring. All right, 0. I'm going to subtract. I have to borrow here. I can't borrow from that one, so I got to go way over here. Now I can write a 9 there, and this becomes a 10. Now I can subtract 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. I have 1,650 milliliters. Okay, let's turn to page 641. Okay, we are at the top of the page. On number 3, let's read our directions first. We're doing more algebra. This time we're going to write an equation with a symbol for the unknown and then solve. Okay, so let's read number 3. Find the total capacity of the liquid shown in the containers below. Okay, total capacity. Total says I'm going to add. Whatever my numbers are, I'm going to add them together. So let's look at this one. They are not giving you the exact. It's up to you to find out. Well, we're not at 40. We're somewhere between 40 and 60. And that number is 50, right? So this one over here, they are giving you the exact. You don't have to make a guess. It's 100. So now I add 100 plus 50. I'm going to write it down here because I ran out of room. So our total is 150 milliliters. Okay, let's look at number 4. Read it with me. How much liquid would be left if you poured out 250 milliliters? Okay, so if I'm starting with an amount of liquid, which in this case is 800, right? If I'm starting with 800 milliliters, whoops, I don't need to write that. And then I am pouring out 250 milliliters. They want to know how much is left. That tells me I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to subtract, 250 from 800. I like to do it up here, so I'm going to put 800 minus 250. All right, subtract my ones. I can't subtract 5 from 0, so I'm going to regroup. Now I can subtract 5 from 10. And then I have 7, and minus 2 is 5. You can hear my dog snoring again. All right, so I ended up with 550 milliliters left. Okay, let's look at number 5. If you equally pour this liquid into 3 containers, how much liquid would be in each container? Remember our question about the lemonade and the pitchers? This one is pretty similar, although they're giving us what we're starting with. So what are we starting with? Let's see, it's not 20, it's not 40, it's in between. So 30. So we're starting with 30 milliliters. If you pour this liquid into 3 containers equally, so if I'm pouring something in equally, that tells me I'm going to divide. In this case, I'm going to divide by 3. If I had 3 containers and I have 30 milliliters to share in each container, I'm going to divide 30 by 3, and I'm going to get 10, because remember, 3 times 10 equals 30. That means 30 divided by 3 is going to be 10. Okay, number 6. The capacity of one pitcher is shown. What is the total capacity in liters of 2 pitchers? Okay, so if they've shown me what the capacity is in one pitcher, this is how much one pitcher can hold. I need to find this total out first before I can find out how many 2 will hold. So I'm going to need to add these up. And let's see, are they asking me in liters or milliliters? What's the total capacity in liters? Okay, good. So let's add these up. I have 1 liter, 2 liters. See on this side how it has the liter on this side? So I have 3 liters in one pitcher. They want to know how many 2 pitchers. So I can 3 times 2 equals 6. So 2 pitchers hold 6 liters. Make sure you write the L for the liters. Okay, let's look at number 7. 1 small carton of milk is 250 liters. There's a small one. 1 large carton of milk is 1,000 milliliters, or 1 liter. There's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Circle the correct number of small milk cartons equal to 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter. Okay, so each one is 250. How many of them do I need to add together until I get to 1,000? All right, so let's see. I've got 250 plus 250. 250 plus 250. I'm going to add those together first. Add my 1s, add my 10s, regroup that one. 500. Okay, so 2 of them is 500. I need to add more. Okay, I'm going to add another 250. Add my 1s, add my 10s. Now I've got 750. And add one more. 1,000. Okay. So I needed to add 4. So I'm going to go back because it said to circle the correct number of milk cartons. So I'm going to circle 4 milk cartons. Okay? All right, let's turn the page. Page something and whoops. The last page, page 642. Well, not your last page because you still have homework, but the last one that we're going to do together. Number 8. Carlos, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Can I make it a little bit bigger? Okay, let's look at number 8. Read it with me. Carlos's aquarium holds 81 liters of water. His pail holds 9 liters of water. How many pails of water does it take to fill the aquarium? Okay, so the aquarium holds 81 liters. Okay, each pail or his pail holds 9 liters. So how are we going to find out how much it takes to fill? How many pails of water does it take to fill the aquarium? That's what we need to find out. Okay, so think about if you had a pitcher. It holds 9 liters of water. You have this big aquarium that you need to fill. You need to pour these in here. How many times you have to fill it? It has 81. It'll hold 81 liters. How many times do you have to go back and fill this bucket before this aquarium is full? So you could say 9 times how many times you fill that bucket till you get to 81, which is the same as saying 81 divided by 9 gives us both of these equations will give us the right answer. Okay, I hope you're practicing your multiplication facts while you're not at school. 81 divided by 9, or 9 times 9, gives us 81. So how many pails of water? 9 pails. Okay, let's do number 9. There are 600 milliliters. There are 600 milliliters of water in Lisa's vase. If she pours out 954 milliliters of water, how much water will be left in the vase? Okay, will be left tells me I'm going to subtract. So what's the number that she started with? She started with 600. She pours out 254. Okay, so if I take my 600, I subtract 254. I can't subtract 0 from 4. I got to go next door. That one doesn't have enough either, so I have to go next door again. That becomes a 5. This becomes a 9 because I borrowed from him to get 10 over here. 10 minus 4, 6. 9 minus 5, 4. 5 minus 2, 3. So how much water is left? 346 milliliters. Okay. Let's do number 10. 10 says, Tara has 3 coolers with 7 liters of lemonade in each. How many liters of lemonade does she have in all? Okay. So I'm going to draw them down here. So she has 3 coolers. So there's 1 cooler, 2 coolers, 3 coolers. Each of these holds 7 liters. Okay. How many does she have in all? That tells me in all is like total, so I'm going to add them. But looking at these, I could add 7 plus 7 plus 7, or I can do 7 times 3. And you should know that 7 times 3 is 21. So how many liters of lemonade does she have in all? 21. Oops. 21 liters. Okay. All right, let's do number 11. Whoops. Read it with me. Sean's mother bought 2 bottles of shampoo. Each bottle contains 800 milliliters of shampoo. How many milliliters of shampoo did Sean's mother buy? Now on this one, they're asking us to do mental math, which I am going to ask you to do too, but I'm going to work it out so that the number 800 is really kind of scary, right? It's a big number when we're trying to add that in our head. But what we can do is we know when we're adding zeros or tens, think of 800 as 80 tens or 8 hundreds. So if I have 800 and 8 hundreds, I could, in my head, I could add 8 plus 8, right? I know what 8 plus 8 is. It's 16. And then I just add my hundreds back. 1600. Okay, guys, I don't need you to do your hot problems. You don't have to worry about them. But I am going to ask you to go ahead and do your homework. Page 643 and 644. And I'll see you on the next lesson.